Welcome to Chemical Industry Trends 2026 live session on LinkedIn. If 2025 felt like the year of the chemical sector's midlife crisis, high energy costs, tariffs, weak demand, regulation pressures, and everyone talking about leaving Europe, our expert guest, Maurizio, a leading strategist in the near chemical sector, today argued 2026 is the year of the contrarian. Maurizio, thanks for joining us.
Hey, hi, Paolo. Thank you, and great to be here.
Maurizio, 2025 felt like a year defined by pessimism. High energy costs, weak demand, and headlines about European capacity closures. What is your fundamental outlook in the chemical industry as we enter in 2026?
Well, it's true. And let me start by using a phrase of a famous Warren Buffett. He said, pessimism is when I've made my best bet. And I believe I find it highly relevant in this situation. The pessimism creates the opportunity. And then you're also right, pessimism is real. However, my outlook is casually optimistic. But as the quote says, when everyone has made their best bet on the downside, contrarian thinking can pay off. So for 2026, structural challenges remain, but they are forcing strategic action to create at least four huge opportunities. And it's a year where I believe, either you double down on transformation or you just exit.
So let's talk about the first major theme you identified, merge and acquisition. Why should we expect continuous merge and acquisition activities in 2026? And how does a company avoid being just a distressed asset?
Well, the merger and acquisition wave has been here, especially in Europe, for a while, but it brings different drivers. Now, from one side, we see consolidation and partnership reshaping the chemical industry, which enables a company to access new markets and technologies and capabilities. And last but not least, M&A provide players in the industry with a quick chance to restructuring the portfolio they're offering. While on the other side, combination of macroeconomic headwinds and persistent overcapacity are somehow threatening the profit. Therefore, we see major players like Sabic scaling back in Europe due to competitiveness issues. We see other major players like Dow Chemicals, Lyondell divesting asset, and last but not least, the ExxonMobil warning EU law could force exit from Europe. In addition, buyers today, especially private equity or oil and gas firms looking to diversify, are somehow willing to pay a premium for assets that can demonstrate reliable and auditable data. And this is why key differentiator for merger and acquisition is no longer the plant efficiency as it was in the past, but rather operational transparency and compliance.
What you say actually fits with analysts reporting that validated EAM and APM solution are key differentiators. Where does the hexagonal portfolio fit into maximizing asset value, either for seller and for the buyers?
Well, I believe both are fundamental. From the sellers, the adoption of, for example, asset lifecycle intelligence management solution like Hexagon EAM, APM, or Hexagon SDX. All this allows them to instantly provide a complete digital thread of the asset history, including maintenance records, condition and performance monitoring, the engineering master data, and so on. And this accelerated due diligence and secures such a premium price from solar perspective, as we said. For the buyers who want to lift and shift operation, the smart digital reality capability in the ALI portfolio, including the digital twin capabilities, with verified engineering data and reality capture, all this enables them to rapidly digitize the newly acquired plant, turning and kind of aligning firms' profitability around pretty fast.
So Hexagon Live moves a merchant acquisition from a gamble to a data-backed investment. Excellent.
Well, as everybody says, the data is gold, right?
Yes. Moving from finance to functions, our second theme is fascinating: regulation channeling investment. You know that regulatory landscape is always a pain point, as we often see regulation as a drug. However, can we highlight how it's becoming a clear opportunity, particularly around clean chemicals? If we think about FAS and microplastic, do you view the looming FAS and microplastic bans as a significant opportunity, and how?
Yeah, this is basically where the challenge doubles as the opportunity, since, as a matter of fact, regulation creates economy certainty, which attracts capital. Now, the regulatory deadlines are firm, at least inside the European Union. However, the broad fast ban with essential use of exemptions and 2026 reporting requirement for microplastic under the EU REACH directive, registration, evaluation, authorization, and restriction of chemicals. All these are pushing significant capital investment in new directions. As the fast ban and microplastic phase out, as I said, with 2026 reporting being a very important reporting year, all these are driving wholesale reformulation and the need for new capacity for biodegradable fluoride-free substitutes.
So, does the mandate to reformulate become a commercial edge?
Oh, absolutely. Companies must reconfigure production lines for fluorine-free polymers and biodegradable substitutes. Think of the clean fashion movement. They need sustainable alternatives for waterproofing, but this is just an example. When we have cosmetics, packaging, pharma companies have a clear economic case to shift capital to biodegradable inputs and avoid costly water treatment, wastewater treatment in the future. This is the first mover here, who gets to define the new standard and collect, let's say, important fiscal incentive in Europe, is expected to deploy.
That require massive investment in new pilot facilities and validation processes. Where does the compliance burden and the hexagonal eye portfolio intersect here?
Well, the burden, we focus to burden, but burden also we need to consider the opportunity to improve. And then I think this opportunity is in the data and in the documentation and in the relevant link between document and data, as the industry basically needs to prove that given new product, really meets the safe and sustainable by design criteria. And I believe that this is where Hexagon solution and enterprise platform are critical. If you wish, I can give you just a few examples among others that are possible. Number one, engineering analysis tool like Caesar 2 and PV Elite are used to safely design and rapidly validate new specialized production lines. Example given the novel polymers that match the market requirement. In addition, we have SDX capturing all the necessary data needed to demonstrate safe and sustainable by design, from research and development formulation down to the final production parameters, and then prepare for the digital product passport, also supporting collaboration among stakeholders, right? And this speeds up the process for qualifying new inputs and getting the clean chemical to market first. And last but not least, the ETQ, so-called excellence through quality, that ensures that quality and compliance are adopted at the top and highest standard degree, while moving from research and design through delivery. And nobody compromises on quality today.
It's a great insight. Our third point is about circularity and CCUS, carbon capture, utilization, and storage. Circularity is the other long-standing trends that should have the moment in 2026. And it seems increasingly moving into large-scale execution, despite the use cases are incredibly diverse. From those chemical recycling of end-of-life matrices to stop capturing CO2 and to the renewable hydrogen and biomethane projects to produce methanol and industrial scale. Levels of maturity and economic certainty also vary, as proven by the recent cancellation of the power to methanol project in Antwerp. Now, Maurizio, you argue that tightening regulatory incentives like carbon border adjustment mechanism and increases EU ETS pricing in 2026 will mature these efforts. How does data move this from pilot project to profitable industrial scale?
Well, Paolo, you are introducing new important topics now, all together in one shot, but please let me address them one at a time. Despite the circularity and carbon capture, they go somehow together as one. At first, there are two reasons to believe that 2026 will be the year of circularity, but also carbon capture. And this becomes a competitive advantage. The first reason is the regulatory and financial incentives are really tightening and expanding the European Union carbon border adjustment mechanism, which will kick into full gear on January 1st. And carbon pricing under European Union ETS will materially increase the cost of fossil-based feedstock by 2026. So this regulatory context should make 2026 a year of acceleration and maturation for carbon capture, utilization, and storage, so-called CCUS. While number two, I believe, as digitization is beginning to deliver tangible gains and reduce uncertainty. For example, the digital twins can virtually model recycling and remanufacturing loops, which allows company to optimize design before committing capital. While, for example, Ecosys Enterprise Project Performance will help with evaluating most attractive investment opportunities, considering both incentives and cost saving. They can also provide the life cycle view the companies need, with Perstop, for example, you mentioned offering really a case in point here with this data foundation that helps size the opportunities that AI can offer in terms of, for example, process optimization, material substitution, and design or just yet forecasting. So it potentially implies that for owners operators, 2026 will be the year to decide where to allocate resources. Facility can prove kind of economic viability at scale, will become reference point and attract further capital, while those that couldn't might either consolidate or just exit. As an increased traceability requirement are demanding, such the European Union Digital Product Passport, they will put companies that have already invested in interoperability and data standardization at an advantage. Then it's all about reducing economic uncertainty. Sorry if I come back to this concept. Many large-scale circularity projects like power to methanol have failed because the capital risk was too high. But the smart digital reality and the digital twin are here to be kind of your stress test, if you wish, right? So smart digital reality allows company to virtually model recycling and remanufacturing loops before committing billions in capital, which actually de-risks the investment. While furthermore, the full life cycle view provided by the digital thread, again, thanks to SDX, is what proves economic viability. And it links with CO2 capture rate, the energy use, and the final product's carbon footprint, which is your challenge.
Finally, let's talk about the long game. Productivity investment and high will define the long game. We know the pain points. 3 in 4 executives still cite delayed information and legacy software as a drag. Is AI really ready to move beyond pilot stage in the chemical industry?
Oh, yes, it is. And at least I think so. And the uptake is inevitable because the gains are so significant, right? Chemical industry has been slower than others, if you wish. Only about 1 in 4 professionals used AI in 2024. But look at the results. Large chemical companies are now reporting cuts to unplanned downtime by up to 20% through AI adoption. And that's massive.
Reducing downtime is revenue.
Exactly, especially for the unplanned ones, as bad, unfortunately, bad and unfortunate experiences back in 2024, I think, demonstrated. Now, with AI moving into project control, for example, it helps companies to manage the cost and the timeline of either large capital project or significant shutdowns and turnarounds. So if 2026 remain somehow uncertain on the trade front, I believe the ability to rapidly adjust your manufacturing footprint becomes a critical advantage, which then require the efficiency AI deliver. In addition, if may add something more, the ultimate imperative here is replacing paper and legacy system with an integrative cloud-native digital backbone that connects project to operation. Well, AI here helps detects errors, misaligned information, inconsistencies among the technical data set and the documents and the models, which are typically in the scope of a project handover.
Then consuming data from project handover looks like the next challenge. Does this help with maintaining the digital twin up to date and running?
Of course, yes, definitely. From owner perspective, the project handover is the cheapest and most effective option to get plant information and relevant documents always in sync with the real facility. That's why we at Hexagon, we provide owners with the concept of a smart digital reality that with AI contribution we mentioned already, really it becomes really a smart concept. And I believe this is a mission critical concept for all owners, even way beyond the chemical industry segment, right? Just consider that as percent researches and the 2025 Hexagon survey, 60% of companies run facilities with workers executing a daily task, having delayed and out of date information, missing asset data or legacy software as a measure drag. Outcome of such a reality is a poor transparency and a higher risk in both project and operations. Then I believe that the ability to successfully leverage upon all the digital technology available as such, which are already available today and will be even enhanced further pretty soon, all that really defines the long-term winner.
So, to summarize, our chemical industry's four opportunities for 2026 are merged acquisition, which is about operational transparency and compliance for premium value. Regulation drives capital expenditure for clean chemical substitutes. Third, circularity and CCUS are driven by tightening financial incentives and digital twin risk reductions. And finally, a high and smart digital reality and productivity enhancement that they trigger are the long-term efficiency differentiators.
Yes, Paolo, I agree with your summary. 2025 may have been a time of pessimism, but 2026 is where those pessimistic market conditions create the perfect environment for bold data-driven bets. It will redraw the competitive map, rewarding those who transform their manufacturing capabilities now.
Excellent insight, Maurizio. Thank you for helping us look past the headlines and find the opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure, Paolo.
That's all the time we have for Chemical Webinar today. We will see you next time.